What is up, YouTube? It is Baseball Nerd back with another MLB video. Today's video is my reaction to the MGM Grand win projections for each team in 2021. They tried to predict the win totals for every team going into 2021, and I'm going to look at it and give you guys what I think about it. If I think the team will be over or under that win total, if they're going to get more or less wins than that. I got this idea from a friend, Big Mike. Shout out Big Mike. He hit me with this and told me you got to go check it out. I went and checked it out. I screenshotted it, so I'm going to go over it. I might be looking at my phone. That's just how I'm looking at it. I'll have the copy or at least the list next to my face as you guys see it, so you can kind of follow along with me with the win totals. But let's get right into it. As always, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and come back for more MLB or MLB The Show content. And yeah, let's get right into it. All right, to start us off, I'm not surprised they have the Dodgers as the winningest team of 2021 by 7 games, but they have the Dodgers at 102.5, 102.5 wins. It's a lot of wins, but I honestly think the Dodgers can do it. I think they're so balanced. I think they're even better than they were last year, and I think they can get that. I'm going to go over on that. I think they're going to get more than 102.5 wins. The Yankees, they have at 95.5 wins. I'm going to go under. I think the Yankees, if all their question marks and health turn out perfect, then they're a team that can win close to 100 games. But if even a couple of those falter and Gary Sanchez doesn't do what he does and Glaber does, there's just a lot of question marks to me. The health of Stanton and Judge, half of their pitching rotation with Tyone, Kluber, and Severino. I don't know. I feel like there's too many question marks to guarantee that, but I can definitely see them going over. I'm going to stick with under, though. Hopping right back in, at 94.5 wins, they have the Padres. I think I'm going to take the over for the Padres. And I think it's just because I think there's too many things that people aren't accounting for. Like, people don't really seem to be talking about their bullpen or Joe Musgrove or since he got traded, or even, Tommy Pham coming back. I think there's even more room for improvement this year than people necessarily see. They're just seeing the Snell and the Darvish. I think there's more to the Padres than that. But at 91.5 wins, they have the Atlanta Braves. I'm going to take the over on the Braves, too. I think the Braves are stacked. I think their bullpen's a little weaker than last year, losing Mark Melancon, and we don't know what's going to happen to Shane Green, but he's not on their team as of right now. But their rotation's deep. They got young pitchers. They got a stacked lineup. I think the Braves are really good. So I think they could win around 93, 94 games. The New York Mets, 90.5 wins. New York Mets, I'm torn on. I'm really torn on the Mets, but I think they're going to be worse than the White Sox, so I'm going to go under. I think the Mets are going to lose or win less than 90 games, in my opinion. Maybe they'd win 89. I think that's very fair. I don't think they're going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm going to take the under with the Mets. With the White Sox at 90.5 wins, I'm going over. I think the White Sox are going to be one of the best teams in baseball. I think they're easily top 5, could even finish top 3. I'm super hyped up on the White Sox. So I'm taking the over with the White Sox. The Twins at 88.5. They got a decent bullpen. They got a good 3-headed monster at the top of their rotation. They got a stacked lineup. Maybe I'm gonna take the over on the Twins. I think they could win 90+ games for sure. The Astros at 87.5. I kind of, I'm an Angels fan, so I don't really love the Astros, but I also just don't think maybe that they're that good of a team. I think bold take here. I think they could be the third best team in the AL West. I'm probably going to get roasted in the comments for that. But Astros, I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the over for the A's. I know on paper the Astros look better, but the A's figure out a way to do it. Elvis Andrus softens the blow of losing Simeon. Nothing really softens the blow of losing Liam Hendricks, but they got some stud young pitchers in A.J. Puck and Jesus Luzardo coming up, so I think the A's will be fine. There, I'm going to take the over for them, 87.5. The Blue Jays at 86.5, I'm taking the over. Starting rotation needs some help. The bullpen's still good. The lineup's stacked, one of the best. So I got to take the over at the Blue Jays. I think they can win, 88 to 90, 91 games. The Cardinals at 86.5. Ooh, the Cardinals at 86.5. I don't think they're better than the Blue Jays, but I think they're better than the Astros, and the Astros are ahead of them. I'm going to take for the Cardinals. I wish for the Cardinals I could pick like 86, but I guess that'd be under. I'm going to say they have a really good team. They have a stacked bullpen. They got some pitching back. Lineup's obviously better. I think Carlson and Bader, those two guys, if they pan out and have good years, that could really change this for me. But I'm going to go with over for the Cardinals, just slightly over. I think they could win anywhere from like 85 to 88 games. That's what I'm going to say in my heart. Tampa Bay Rays, 86.5. I feel like the Rays have found a way to do it for a couple years now, but I think the Rays are going to be under. I think they're going to be like an 80 to 83 win team max. I don't think they're going to be that great this year. I could be completely wrong. I just think they're not there this year in my opinion. The Washington Nationals, 84.5. You guys know I've hyped them up all year. Nationals above that. I'm going to take the over for the Nats. I think they're closer to 87, 88 wins. The Angels at 83.5. Realistically, we have a lot of question marks too, like I mentioned for the Yankees with Ohtani and our young players not really looking like high prospects, and we got some old guys in our rotation. Yeah, we got a lot of question marks. I'll give them that. So I'm going to say 83.5. I think we could win like 85 games. So I'm going to take the over very cautiously and slightly biased. The Brewers at 83.5. I'm going to take the over for them as well. I think they're in a weaker division, and I think that they have a lot of good pitching that people don't realize that they have. And they have a stacked, end of that bullpen. And they added Jackie Bradley Jr., Colton Wong. I wish they would have got Justin Turner. I would have put them as, up there with the Cardinals in that division, but they didn't. Reds at 81.5. I think the Reds are going to surprise some people. They still have a lot of good pieces. I just don't feel like, I feel like they're maybe an 80-win team, but I'm going to take the under for the Reds. Sorry, Reds fans. The Indians at 81.5. I think the Indians are going to surprise some people. They lost Lindor and Carrasco. They always have good pitching coming up the ranks, and Andres Jimenez and Amid Rosario are going to replace Lindor in some facet. I know they're not going to be Lindor, but Andres Jimenez is a beast. Added Eddie Rosario. Yeah, I think the Indians, I think they could be over 81.5. I think they could almost potentially push 90. Maybe not, but I'm just saying. The Philadelphia Phillies at 80.5 wins. I'm going to take the over for the Phillies. They're in a tough division, but they have one of the best offenses in baseball. Alec Boehm, Mickey Moniak look like studs as well, especially this spring training. And yeah, I think their starting rotation, if they add Jake Odorizzi, who's kind of seems like he might be on their radar, then that would definitely bump them up in my mind. But 80.5, they've addressed the bullpen enough to make me say over for that. Boston Red Sox at 80.5. I'm also going to take the over for the Boston Red Sox. I know I'm picking over for a lot, I feel like, but Boston Red Sox I feel like are better than an 80-win team. I think people definitely don't see it, but I see it. I think they have a lot of talent on that team that people might not be seeing right now. But the Chicago Cubs at 78.5, I'm low on the Cubs, and I know I probably shouldn't be, but I'm going to go under at 78.5. The D-backs at 75.5, I'm going to go over. I think they have some surprising good players in their rotation and their lineup. Maybe not the greatest bullpen, but that's what I think. The Giants at 75.5, I'm going to go under. I think they're in a tough division. I don't think they're just there yet. They have a lot of old guys, a lot of young guys. They don't really have an in-between. I think they just need to keep pushing, and they're close to being ready. Just rotation's old. A lot of their infield's old. I don't see them being above that this year. The Royals at 73.5. I think they're a sneaky pick. They had a good off season. They're not in. They're in the Central. Maybe I don't know. 73.5. I'm gonna go slightly under. I think they're like a 70 to 73 4 win team. But the Seattle Mariners 72.5. I feel like that's fair, but I'm gonna go slightly under for them as well. They're very close to being so stacked. They're gonna have more outfielders than they know what to do with, but they're just not there yet, in my opinion. Mariners, though, a very good team, probably one of the best teams that could finish 4th or 5th in their division. The Marlins at 70.5. I'm gonna take. I think COVID was kind of a little foreshadowing for the Marlins, but a little too soon. I'm going to take the over, but just slightly. I think they're going to finish as like a 72-win team. The Tigers at 69.5. I'm going to take the under. I think they're going to be bad. I don't think they had a great. I think they had a great offseason for the Tigers. I think they have a lot of good pitching coming up. I just don't think 2021's the year. I think 22 or 23 is, but not 21 yet, in my opinion. I'm going to take the under slightly. The Rangers at 67.5. Pitching's going to hurt the Rangers even more than it's going to hurt my Angels, especially because they just don't have the lineup. But the lineup's not bad. I'm going to take the under for the Rangers just slightly, under 67.5. The Orioles at 64.5. I'm going to take the over. I think Mancini coming back helps. They've lost Bundy and Cobb, Jose Iglesias. They lost some good players the last couple of years. All those guys are Angels. What are we doing, Angels? But 64.5, I'm going to take the over for them. I think they could have a sneaky good year. They have a lot of good prospects as well. The Rockies at 63.5, I'm going to give them under just for trading Nolan Arenado. I have no idea how good they're going to do. They got Trevor Story and some good pitchers, but I'm going to give them the under just because they deserve it. The Pirates at 58.5 also have traded away everybody. Brian Hayes looks like a stud, but that's all I can get excited about for the Pirates. Cole Tucker and O'Neal Cruz, some young good players, but just not there yet. 58.5. I'm going to give them under. I'm going to go like a 50-win team. Yeah, I'm going to give them 50. What would that make them? 50 and 112? Would that be their record? That's 162, right? Yeah, 50 and 112, that's their record finishing. Yeah, that's the Pirates right there. So that was my reaction to the MGM Grand win projections for 2021, going through every team, giving you my over and under. That was kind of fun. I normally try to do more research and try to take these videos very seriously and look up players, look up stats, and try to really do my research so I can feel confident in all my picks. I kind of just winged this one, to be honest with you guys. I hope it was more fun that way. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But that was just my natural reactions for those teams. I don't know if any of it made sense. I just went off a gut feeling. I hope you guys liked the video, though. And if you do, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. And come back for more MLB content. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.